4 sine waves. That's all you need to make amazing sounds. That and a whole bunch of knobs. Today we're going to review the newest synthesizer by Cherry Audio, which is not an emulation of any other synthesizer. This is their second original synth and it has a really unique concept. The big question, is it any good? We will find out today. Also, if you end up liking this review, subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. So, without further ado, let's go! This is Sine. As I said, this is an original synthesizer, which really gets me excited because Cherry Audio made a really good job on the Dream Synth, and they show us that they can make really unique stuff when they are not limited by making an emulation. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the concept of this synthesizer is that you just have 4 sine waves. You cannot choose a different wave, which is totally the opposite of the Dream Synth. But of course, you can get other sounds by tweaking these knobs. And you also have an oscilloscope, so you can see what you're doing to the source. For example, with the feedback, you can transform the sine wave into a sawtooth wave. With the shape, you can transform it into a sharper wave, or you can make it into this almost square wave, and if you want a full square wave, you just have to open up the drive. Not only that, you also have a really nice wave folder and a width knob that gives you this shape, but also gives you a fully positive or a fully negative wave shape. And of course you also have the phase, but I'm going to go back to it in a moment. Because first of all, I want to show you a bit of the user interface, and before that I want to show you a first impression of the sounds that you can make. Okay, so we have 4 different oscillators with the same parameters. Each one of them also have a super oscillator and a sub oscillator, and that literally means 1 octave above and 1 octave below. You also have 4 different LFOs with different shapes, and also each LFO can be bipolar, positive or negative. You have 4 different envelopes, one that's for the filter, other for the amplification, and the other 2 assignable. And you also have a really nice multi-mode filter right here. Now, something new about this for Cherry Audio is that you have a mod matrix, which can give you more modulation options, as we will see in a moment. But before that, let me finish with the user interface. You have an arpeggiator, a different voice assign, and some nice effects. Distortion, mode effects like phaser, flanger, chorus, and rotary, a really nice delay, and a reverb with, you guessed it, the Galactic Reverb 2. And a new addition is an 8-band graphic equalizer, which gives you more possibilities to shape your sounds. Now, every parameter that has these little knobs and buttons right here can be modulated by, well, LFOs, envelopes, oscillators, keyboards, and these signals. Now, why I left the phase for this moment is because, as you may or may not know, FM modulation is actually phase modulation. And as you can see here, you can assign an oscillator to modulate any of these parameters, and if you assign it to the phase, you get, well, you guess it, frequency modulation. For example, here I'm modulating the phase with oscillator 2. Giving you that classic FM sound. Not only that, you can put this via button right here, which is a modulation of the modulation. So if we choose, for example, envelope 3, we can get a really plucky FM sound. And as any FM synthesizer, you can control also the ratio of, well, the carriers and the modulator. So this is also technically an FM synthesizer, but as its architecture is not the same as an FM synthesizer, it gives you more possibilities and more freedom to, well, affect the frequency and the phase of each sine wave on different ways. So you are not limited to algorithms or maybe some feedback loops and so on. It's almost like a do-it-yourself FM synthesizer, but that doesn't stop there. As you can see, any of these parameters can be modulated by anything, even an oscillator, giving you the possibilities to make crazy modulations like, for example, pulse width audio rate modulation, and also, well, shape modulation, waveform modulation, drive modulation, feedback modulation, and frequency modulation, which is going to give you a different result from the phase modulation. So you can combine any of these sounds, giving you different wave shapes, different shapes for the modulators, for the carriers, and not only that, you can also get really interesting sounds without using any of the audio rate modulations right here. But that doesn't stop there. You can also modulate almost anything thanks to the mod matrix. And of course, the cutoff frequency also have its own button right here, so you can also get audio rate filter modulation. And the mod matrix opens up a lot of more possibilities, because with this you can modulate also parameters that don't have that little button and that little knob. You can modulate parameters from the effects, from the arpeggio, from the keyboard. You can modulate even each band of the EQ, giving you interesting textures and sound. So you can create really unique ways on where each parameter interacts with other parameters in really interesting ways. You are not limited by having to use LFOs and envelopes. You can use different modulation sources to modulate almost anything on this synthesizer, and not only that, many of these have this via button which makes the modulation being modulated by other thing. You have some sort of modulateception. This synthesizer with all these knobs makes an invitation to the user to experiment with new sound possibilities. I will never thought about making something like audio rate shape modulation or waveform modulation, but now I feel I have to do it because I have the possibility of doing it. And as always, this synthesizer it's at a really low price compared with others in the market, so you can get a really advanced synthesizer for your sound design experiments or for your own productions. Now, a total disclaimer, Cherry Audio did send me this synthesizer in advance, so I could make this review, but they have no say on the content of this video, and also they haven't watched it before I release it. So everything I say here, it's my own opinion. And I really liked this new unique synthesizer. The invitation I can make to you is that you download the demo. Cherry Audio always have demos for their products. I'm going to leave you the link for this synthesizer on the description of this video. Thanks a lot to Cherry Audio for the synthesizer, and if you enjoyed this video and enjoyed this synthesizer, subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. I hope you experiment and get interesting sounds with all the possibilities that this synthesizer is going to give you. I will see you next time. Bye bye.